So I see this argument a lot. This argument that the original aesthetic of Star Trek should be coming back, that it should have been the aesthetic that was used for Discovery. And do I agree? So look, the case right here is this. This aesthetic is currently what these ships look like in the New Age art. In the way that they want to represent these ships, this is what it looks like. I personally like this. I do. I legitimately like it. But for argument purposes, this is an artist rendering of what it would look like if the original aesthetic was currently being used. Updated slightly, but the original look, the original design looking more like the original series. This is what they say Discovery should look like. And I've heard a lot of arguments that Discovery should look like this. There is something to be said for the old designs. They're striking, they stand out, they're very bright, but maybe that's also a bit of a problem. Look, I like original Star Trek. I love it. But I have to admit that when the new CGI stuff came out, when they redid Star Trek the original series and they brought it into Blu-ray and they did the new ship design and they made the CG model, that is the way I watch it now. I don't hate the original by any means necessary, but the CGI model can do more dynamic shots. It technically, if you want to get real about it, I feel like it does look a little better. Sometimes it looks a little too fake, but I feel like it does look a little better, and I feel like it helps with certain things, like certain parts of the original series that were just wrong. Little itty-bitty fixes, like when they're being chased by something and they go to the rear view and there didn't used to be the engines, and now you can actually see the nacelles in the shot. That explains that there's a camera on the outside that we're looking through. That adds a new life to the project and makes it bigger and better and more immersive than it ever was before. They fix little things with new technology that I don't necessarily always love, but I have to give it to them when it's done right. And I think the redesign of the original series worked very well. I like the CG models. I watch that more than I watch the original now. I do. I think the continuity of it just fits better. It looks better, it immerses me more, and it lets me see more of the things I want to see, and I enjoy it. So then, we have to look at the new aesthetic. And we have to ask ourselves, is it better or worse? For one, I like the way the Enterprise was redone for Discovery. In fact, I love it. I think it is a very, very solid design. Absolutely wonderful. That ship is absolutely beautiful. I gotta hand it to them. I'm legitimately impressed with it. I also have to hand it to Discovery for changing something. And maybe you agree and maybe you don't. But the original was very bright in a way that made the ship like pop out and seem like it was being lit somehow. And that doesn't make sense. The ship should not glow in the dark. And let us be honest here, space is dark. Part of the fact that you need sensors and everything is because without an external light force, light source, sometimes you don't have it, and that's another reason for the running lights. The running lights stand out better and serve more purpose in the new designs of Discovery. They do. The lights in the windows seem to have more purpose and have more power about them, and the engine's glow seems to be a little sharper, and the running lights that are shined onto the ship that show the little call signs like 1701 and so on and so forth, registry numbers and insignia and things, they seem to have more purpose, and in the darkness of space, they seem more realistic to that reality. So there is something to be said for the way that Discovery handled its ship, as opposed to, say, how the reboot Kelvin line handled their ship, where their ship really does seem to, like, glow in the dark, like the original. And maybe you like that aspect, and there's nothing wrong with liking one style over the other. But I gotta say, giving it time and really looking at it, I don't think that the original ship design is here. I like it. But the original aesthetic, I think we have moved past that. Not just necessarily in an artistic sense, but in an overall sense. I think that we're better off leaving that behind, in all honesty. I know that might be somewhat of a surprising take from me, but I think that where we stand now, and with the way that the series has been built up and the things that are currently being done, I do tend to like something about the new artistic way that this is done. I like the new art style, and quite frankly, I don't want to see necessarily us go back to the shiny ship. I know that surprises you, but if Strange New Worlds actually keeps this aesthetic, this space is dark, and the new design of the Enterprise, I'm actually all for it. I say go for it. I do. Maybe that surprises you, and for some people I'm sure that it does surprise them, but yeah, I think Discovery had its art in the right place in many different ways than people like to admit. And the ship designs, they're solid. And if we continue that into New Worlds, I'm up for it. Get out of here.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.